Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be another installment of my makeup inventory. So today I'm going to be going over all of my single shadows that are kind of in a component, this drawer here. So if you like makeup inventory videos, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet, but there's a lot here. I'm going to be swatching everything, talking about them, my thoughts, etc. So let's just get started. All right, so first, my disclaimer, as always, I'm not sure how much decluttering I will be doing in this video. There might be some here and there, but for the past couple of times that I've been showing off my collection, I've done some pretty brutal declutters. I'll link those playlists down below. And while this is definitely one of my more concerning drawers, I feel like I'm in a better spot with my collection, and I don't necessarily want to be decluttering too much. So this will mostly be just going over my collection, doing swatches, etc. Like I said, this is one of my more concerning drawers. As you can see, it's overflowing here. I had a lot of just unopened things come into my life when my mom came back from Arizona. She's been slowly but surely clearing out my storage unit and bringing me over my makeup. So that's where a lot of this came from. And I think that it's time to expand this into two drawers. So I have another drawer here, and I'm gonna just keep it easy on myself and do all the unopened ones in a drawer, and then hopefully all the opened ones fit pretty nicely here. So let's just get started. I'm not going to be swatching the unopened for obvious reasons, but I'll be swatching all of my opened ones. So let's go over the unopened first. I have a ton of Colourpops, and I did try to go through them and just see which ones I might be interested in trying. So let's see what I have here. This is one of the Disney ones, and this is I'm Wishing, so Snow White. I have this one that's I See the Light, so Rapunzel. This is in Couche, just a staple. Then I have Dream Lover. How can I resist purple? This one you can see clearly. I think my dog probably got into it. It's just here like this, hanging on for dear life, so I know that it's not used yet. This one is in Birthday Cake. I have this one from the Raw Beauty Christie collab in Olympic. And then what else? Super shock wise. I have more from the Raw Beauty Christie collab. So I have Like a Moss and Mycelium. I'm going to keep both of those, I think. More from the Disney. This is Once Upon a Dream. And then Beauty and the Beast, so kind of like a yellow gold. I don't think I have anything like this in my collection, or this. I mostly kind of keep the champagne gold ones. A few more Super Shocks. So this came in the Going Coconut set, and what shades are these in here? There is Deep Dive, a little Quirky, and Peekaboo. They might be dried out once I get around to trying them. I won't know until I open them. I do have a series on my channel where I try to make progress on some of my singles because they do get neglected in my just everyday makeup. So I'll link that playlist up above and down below as well if you want to see me just working on some eyeshadows. This is from the Animal collab in Positively Perfect. I have this one that's Colors of the Wind. And then this was also from one of their Animal collabs as well. And it has the shades. Let's see. It has the shades You're Kidding Me, as well as Mutts About You. The Animal ones are hard for me to get rid of. All right, more unopened. Oh, and this is So this is love. More unopened Colourpop. These are the cream shadows. I have, which ones do I have? I think I have to open them. No, it says here in white. So I have Moonbeam as well as Laurel. Then this is the only Jelly Much I have, and it is in Bouquet. This came in the Flutterby collection, I think. I remember that I watched, I forgot her name, Shay, I think. She raved about this color, so that's why I picked it up, and I haven't used it, but I really, really want to. Hoping it's not dried out, fingers crossed. More unopened. It's mostly just on top because I really just kind of threw it in here when it came, or when my mom brought it, just so I had it not on my floor. So these from Flower Beauty, some liquid shadows. I have the shades, let's see, Blade as well as Bullet. One's like a very copper and one is more of like a greeny gold. I have this matte one from Wet n Wild in, what shade are you? This is Off the Grind. Kind of interested to try this. These ones here are all from Shop Miss A. I had a friend who really, really liked these, so I picked them up and I haven't used them yet. So I have the shade of Borderline. I have Holiday. I have Virgin, which is this one. Lucky Star. Baby. And this one is Private Show. I'm gonna see, maybe like I'll just try one of them, see how I like the formula, and if not, I'll pass them along. But for now, I have these. Then, let's see, I have two MAC paint pots that I'm pretty sure I bought during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty at some point because they're always on sale. I have Groundwork and Painterly. Then we'll just stick with the MAC ones here. I have a backup of Wedge, which is one of my favorite shades. And then I have the All That Glitters single. I have some open MACs, but we'll get to those later. Two from Artist Couture. These used to be super popular on YouTube for a while. So these are the Diamond Lights finishers. I don't know if I'm gonna like these because they are loose, but I have the shades Nebula and Epiphany. I do wanna try them, so I'm not gonna declutter them just yet. These are unopened, but my dog completely destroyed the box. Like it wasn't even worth saving, so I just tossed it. I have Venus and Moonrise. These are from M Cosmetics. They're singles. And then we're making progress with the unopened. I'm trying to breeze through this a little bit quicker because I know that it's more exciting to see the swatches. This is a Marc Jacobs single in Topaz Flash. Then I have a Kiko Water eyeshadow, and I don't know if this has a name. These seem to like go in and out of popularity. This is 200. And I kind of just want to see what all this is about. Kiko seems to be like, I don't know. They seem to have really good products, but kind of a little underrated. Here we go. Nope, it just says shade 200. There's no name. A Ciate Marbles Metal. This is in Twisted. I wanted this so bad when it came out, and then I think I picked it up on sale. It's like this green color. I'm really excited to try this. I think it's going to be similar to the Tarte formula. I decluttered all of those over the years here. So I have this one, and then this is from Elsie. And this is in Garnet, which is my birthstone, so I have to keep it. And it's obviously going to be more of like a red. Interesting. Curious to see how this compares against the Ciate, because I think that they'll be similar, just like the Tarte. All right, getting there. This is unopened, right? Yes, this is from Revlon. This is the... That's a Dub Victoire. I heard really good things about this. My friend Bridget, she loves these little quads as single shadows. If I'm gonna utilize it as a single shadow, then I keep it in this drawer, but this is also unopened. And then I have a ton from Kiko, more from Kiko, because I purchased from them during like a Black Friday sale. They were doing buy 3, get 3 free. So I picked up like a ton of stuff I was just interested in. I have 2 from their holiday collection, the Metal Fantasy eyeshadow in Iridescent Silver and Blazing Bronze. Then these are more of their cream eyeshadows. I have 02 Charmer Rose and 03 Choco Mousse. This is called the Delightful eyeshadow. And then this is a Metal Chrome eyeshadow in 02 Dewy Rose. So those are all my Kiko. Now what do I have left that's unopened? I think we're almost done. We have a Charlotte Tilbury in Champagne. I like this formula, but it's not the best. The Urban Decay 24/7 Shadow Moon Dust in Space Cowboy. Need to really crack this open. And then I have a Stila eyeshadow in Kitten. I have this in my singles, even though a lot of people use it as highlighter, because I have different Stila products in Kitten in my highlight drawer already. And then I have a single from Dior. This is in 758 Beige Mitza. Again, my friend Bridget influenced me to purchase this, and I still haven't cracked into it, but it's like one of the most iconic Dior single shades, so I'm excited to eventually try this. And then we just have some sticks here other than primers, but I have 3 from Tarte. These are all the quick sticks. I thought they would be super handy to have, but clearly not. So I have Mauve Luster with black, Rose Gold Luster with brown, and then Matte Tan with brown. I feel like they can be promising, but I just need to get my life together. 2, 3 more. Let's see. I have one from Rare Beauty. This is a nearly neutral, so just a liquid eyeshadow here. Stila Glitter and Glow in Wonderlust. Everyone used to rave about this shade. Part of me is scared that this is super dried out, but I'm hoping because I didn't open it that it's okay, or I can revive it with some Duraline. We'll see. We'll see when the time comes. And then this Laura Mercier Caviar Stick in Strike a Rose, which I have one other from this rose collection that's already open. And then this nude stick case is also unopened. This is the Barely Nude Eye Kit. So it has 6 neutrals in here. They're all still sealed up. I think most of them are shimmers. I'm not sure, but I had a few of these sets and I decluttered all of them except for this one. And then that's all of my unopened potted shadows. And then I also keep eye primer, and I don't know why. I had all these eye primers. I have more eye primer than I'm ever gonna get through in my entire life. But let's go with the ones that are unopened. And then here was another Flower Beauty just hiding. This one is in the shade Camo. So I have an unopened Anastasia Beverly Hills. Kind of has just some stuff on it, but this is unopened. A Ulta Matte Eye Primer in Nude. This I'm pretty sure I got a free gift with purchase at some point. This is opened. I have the Juvia's Place Prep and Prime Eye Primer in color 2. The KVD Shake Primer. I remember Samantha Ravindall used to rave about this, and I really want to try it out. The Smashbox 24-Hour Photo Finishing Shadow Primer. I actually went through a full one of these, so I know I can do that again, and it was a really nice eyeshadow primer. And the last one I have is from e.l.f. This is the Putty Eye Primer Base in Rose. So those are all my unopened, which, I mean, I need to obviously reorganize this, but I think I have more unopened than opened, which is just sad. But now let's go through all of these and we're gonna get to swatching. So I think I want to start with my sticks first because that'll be easier. So I have 2 of the Laura Mercier Caviar sticks. This was that rose collection that I was talking about earlier. And I have the shades Kiss from a Rose and Forbidden Rose. So here is Kiss from a Rose. And then we have Forbidden Rose, which is a lot darker. I usually use both of these together when I use them, like this on the inner part of the lid, this on the outer part with just a transition shade. I quite like these. I also have just a mini in Vanilla, I believe. That is a matte. This is Vanilla Kiss. So this is just a good eyeshadow base as well. I just need something. And then my last one is from CoverGirl. This is in Dreamy Haze, and this is also matte. I haven't used it that often. How do you twist this? Oh, from the bottom. But it's just like a nice neutral shade as well. So those are all my sticks. I know that sticks are becoming more and more popular, but I do not plan on purchasing any more for the foreseeable future. I have 1 left from Sydney Grace. I had about 20 of these, and again, I just decluttered them, but I kept the multi-chrome. This is in Flamethrower. These are supposed to go bad pretty quickly here, but it seems like mine's doing just fine. I don't know what the deal is with that, but this one is stunning. I wish I used just liquids more because this is really, really beautiful. But it's a black base multi-chrome and I just don't reach for a multi-chrome like this like I should. This would be really pretty with like an iridescent topper on it as well. Should really get around to. I just need to play with all these, quite honestly. And then this I'm pretty sure I got in a sample bag or something. This is the CoverGirl lid paint in Stargazer. I probably don't need to keep this around, but I'm going to, let's see, this actually might have been unopened, but I'm going to swatch it anyways. And now it's opened. So here's what this looks like. Purple is my favorite color, so it's a little bit tough to get rid of the purples, but here are all the shadow sticks and then the liquid ones that I have. Let's quickly just go over the 2 eye primers that I have open. I have the Smashbox Lid Primer in Light, and I have the NYX Proof It Waterproof Eyeshadow Primer. I just work on 1 eyeshadow primer at a time, which is why these are in here, because if not, like I'd put them on my acrylic desk, so that way I could get use out of them, but I try not to clutter that desk up. I will eventually get to those before I even go into my unopened. And then what do I want to do next? Let's do some of these single ones. And we'll do Colourpop last. So I have this Shiseido. This is the Aura Dew in 02 Solar. This is really, really pretty. It's just like a glittery topper shade. And it has just like the perfect amount of gold sparkle to it. Really pretty and like wet looking on the lid. Kind of has like a drier formula, but it's still beautiful. This Chantecaille, this is in Baroque. I have a highlighter with the same packaging that came for holiday one year, and I think it's really beautiful. This single shadow performs beautifully, and it's just my kind of shade. It's a little bit deep, but for the most part, like I think you can get away with it if you sheer it out as an all over one and done shadow. Then this one from Natasha Denona. I think this is one of the very, very few products that I decluttered and brought back in. This is the Crystal Top Coat in Gray Brown. I had 3 of them at one point, and this one I kept, even though it was my least favorite. I think I cracked Nude one year because I wore it and dropped it, and then the other one, Bronze, was just too dried. This one still works okay. And I really like this formula, and it's just tough because Natasha Denona did discontinue this, which is why I think I pulled it back in because I wouldn't be able to replace it. I have 4 from Auric. We're going to kind of do these together. So let's see what I also have singles of. This, this. Okay. The rest of the single ones, this is from Clavu. I got this from Yes Style, and I saw Lauren May Beauty recommend this, and she's like the queen of single shadows, so I had to get it. This is in Glam Brown, and it is beautiful. Kind of like the Natasha Denona. It's just like the perfect taupey shade. So I really like that one. This Tarte one, I keep telling myself I'm going to use it, and then I never do. This is in Crystal Ball. I think it's meant to be more of like a gel liner, but because it's opened, I guess I just don't want to pass it along to someone. And it is really pretty. Has just like that shiftiness to it. I'm going to still hang on to it. Once I kind of get into my single project a little bit more and more things roll in, I'm hoping that'll just kind of help me declutter more on the spot. This Chantecaille Elephant Single Shadow. I've talked about this multiple times on my channel because mine, like the pan completely came out of the component. Luckily, someone commented and told me to use eyeshadow glue to kind of hold it back in there because it has a waffle pan, and that seems to be working. I want to be very careful with it. So fingers crossed it stays like that. I mostly bought this for the packaging. My stepmom, she loves elephants, and it just reminded me of her. Plus this taupe shade, I mean, beautiful. I clearly have a type if you just take away that purple. So I'm happy to have this one. And my last single is from Burberry. This is in Optic White. I don't remember how I came across this. I think that I saw a shadow that I really liked, and I saw a dupe was Optic White, and so I decided to pick it up. So here's what this one looks like. It's just a very, very white silver, like I would say, because it's has a shimmer. It has a slight metallicness, so it kind of pulls just like the lightest silver possible. Like I wouldn't call this a matte white. But there's the Burberry one, and that's all of the kind of ones I only have one of. So now let's kind of swatch out the ones I have more. I think we'll start here. So I have 2 from Bobbi Brown and 2 from Charlotte Tilbury. I have, this was in High Octane, and I should really just, I'm not gonna get rid of it. This is like a very black-based purple. And I really like this formula from Bobbi Brown. And then I have Liquid Mercury, which is more of a gray taupey shade, obviously. You can see some wear in that. That's actually nice to see some, like the imprints almost gone from it. And again, like this is a heavy swatch. I don't want to say this all the time, but you can really shear this out and have it be a lot lighter so it's not so heavy on the eyes. And then from Charlotte Tilbury, I have 2 of the Pop Shots. So I have Diamond Eyes as well as Smoky Quartz. Diamond Eyes is really, really pretty. I think that she had 2 different formulas in these, quite honestly. And this one gives like single shadow, but Smoky Quartz really just did not do it for me as far as being a $34 single. It's a pretty taupe. Like I love taupe, but in comparison to Diamond Eyes, it just really doesn't have the same impact. And it's disappointing because I'm glad I just didn't pick up more shades of this, because you don't know which formula is which when you're just buying them online. And then other Charlotte Tilbury, the open ones that I have, the 2 Eyes to Mesmerize, I have Oyster Pearl and Rose Gold. So this one's Rose Gold. I'm just going to go from the cap here. And it looks like that. These are very, very creamy. A little goes a long way with these. I don't know if I could ever realistically finish one. And then Oyster Pearl looks like this. And I much prefer, even though the Eyes to Mesmerize I think is a little bit overrated of a formula, I much prefer this Oyster Pearl over the Smoky Quartz in the Pop Shot. That's how unimpactful this one is, especially in comparison to Diamond Eyes. So there are all my Charlotte Tilbury. Let's maybe do Auric. So the Auric ones that I have are Defiance, Temper, and then the two from Holiday, so Entice and Disrupt. This is going to be a little bit tougher to swatch, but we will make it happen. I absolutely love these so much. I've talked about these a ton on my channel as well. I just find them so easy to use, and I wish that Auric would come out with more of them. It seems like they've kind of just forgot about them. I don't know. I don't know if they plan on it or what, but this first one is Defiance, so the more bronzy one. And then Temper is, of course, my favorite out of the two original ones. I'm trying to find a clean finger here. And it's just the more rose gold one, but with the topper, it looks beautiful. I love it so much. It's just simple, easy, sophisticated, and like, yeah, I have a drawer of singles here, but I like that it has a little duo. Try not to get my fingers dirty at the same time that I open this, get the component all dirty, filthy. And then this is the Temper topper shade. Temper is a little bit more golden than Defiance. Defiance really has like an almost clear base. And then the Holiday ones, let's start with Entice. You know, part of me wonders if this is why they didn't continue with this, or they've kind of slowed down with this, because these Holiday ones were definitely just not as good. And I don't know if that's because they're more color, less neutrals, but I might declutter these at some point. They're just not my favorite. So here is the Entice topper, and this one's more of like a duochrome. It has like a very white base with a green gold shift to it. It is perfect for this. I just find myself not reaching for it as much as I want to with Defiance and Temper. And then Disrupt is more of a cranberry. I think it was like a nice holiday launch, but it really is just not an everyday. And for the price point, like, I don't know if I would buy any more of the limited edition ones. I do like the cranberry more than the green, which is surprising to me because I really do like green eyeshadow, especially like this camo kind of forest deep green. And then the topper also is kind of duochrome. You can kind of see it shift from gold to cranberry to pink. And here is the topper for Disrupt. All right, we're making our way through. I have two from Victoria Beckham, two from Ritual de Fille, and then one from Hourglass that I forgot. So this is in Smoke. This is just like an iconic product, I feel like, which is why I haven't been able to let it go yet. And it is beautiful. Highly recommend getting. I'm pretty sure you can still get this product, and I would pick it up. It's one of my favorite singles. Like, I actually do remember this off the top of my head. The Victoria Beckham, I have two. I have Mink and I have Tea Rose. So Mink is just that classic taupe, and it's very, very pigmented and creamy. It's kind of like a more firm version of the Charlotte Tilbury, but not quite like the Tarte. It's like, yeah, it really is like an in-between of both of those. I prefer this formula over the Charlotte Tilbury. Quite honestly, it just has a little bit more control to it. And then Tea Rose looks like this. I would like to pick up more shades of these, but I really just don't need them, so I'm not going to. And then the Ritual de Fille, I tried these. I picked these up when I purchased the foundation from Ritual de Fille, so I have Half Light. And I wasn't super impressed with these, if I'm being honest. I don't know, they just didn't look how I wanted them to look on the eye. I think I wanted a little bit more impact. if you're like a no makeup wearer, you might really enjoy this product. But for me, I wanted it to have a little bit more shine. And then the second one I have is Cultist, which again is going to be more of like a taupe, but definitely more of like a gunmetal taupe. And you can see like it just really doesn't have that sparkle like these other ones do. Just more on the subtle side. It does, you know, eye soot is a good name for it. It is very much like fireplace ash. It has that texture and it does smooth out. Like you can really have this go far because this can be a dark shade. And when I tried these, I was disappointed in the fact that they looked so dark, but you really have to work it on the eye to get a sheer application to have it look nice. So those are the Ritual de Fille. And then we'll do Oden's Eye and MAC before we get to Colourpop. MAC first. So I have Woodwinked, which is just a recommended shade from everyone. And I should have known better. Like most people who like this shade like warm tones. So it's a little bit warmer, but I can during a certain time like wear this and like it. It's just a little bit more bronzy than I typically like on a normal day. And then this is Satin Taupe, which is also just a classic. One of my very first eyeshadows that I ever owned. I'm pretty sure I repurchased a new one just to have the memories for it because I love this shade. This is before I even knew what a taupe was. And then I, of course, have MAC Wedge. Like I said, my unopened one was a backup. And this is my second or third MAC Wedge. So you can clearly see how much I just really, really enjoy this shade. When I didn't have such a large collection, this was just my transition shade of choice. I used it for every single eye look. And this was, I think, where the start of my just love for neutrals leaning cool started, was with this shade, because this is definitely more of like a neutral brown versus a warm brown like Woodwinked. And for Oden Eye, I got these in a mystery bag. And quite honestly, like they're not great. I have the shades, let's see, Gabriel, then Ella, and this one is David. So I wouldn't have picked these up if I didn't get them in the mystery bag. I really don't reach for them too much. They're kind of, you know, I love green, so I keep the green. Iridescent shades are hard to resist, but I definitely have better ones now. And then David, I definitely, as you can see, don't have very many blues, and this is a very beautiful blue. I just didn't hear like good things about this, that they were too oily, they broke apart on the lid easily. I can't say I've given them like enough of a chance to know that myself, but I didn't pay for these. Well, I did pay for them because I got them in a mystery box, but I would not have just picked them up on my own. It wasn't really a collection that I was super interested in. And now we just have Colourpop and this Flower Beauty. I guess we should go through this. So this is the Flower Beauty Desert Lights. I did have Jungle Lights, but I decluttered it because it just wasn't my style. I tried, but I do like this one, and I really want to get Garden Lights, but we'll see. They don't have Flower Beauty in France, so it's hard for me to pick up. Like I said, because I'm going to use these as singles, it stays in my single drawer, so that's why it's here. And let's swatch them out. I think I'll just start at the top here. I'm not going to look at the back for the shades, but here's that first one, second one, third one, and then the second row. These are all really pretty rosy shades. There's the second row. So here is the Flower Beauty After the Blue Desert Lights. And I hope she continues with these quads. I think they're really great. I do like having singles in a little palette like that, because if I had more of these, they would just fit so much more compact in my drawer versus all of these just lots of taking up space, etc. So I like it like this. I know not everyone does, but I do like having kind of just the same tones in one palette. And now it's time for Colourpop. So let's do these before the Super Shocks, just because they're a little bit different. So this is one of the cream ones in Agave Bloom. And this it's starting to dry up for sure, but it's still pretty creamy. And this is just a glorified MAC paint pot. I don't really want to give it to anyone, which is why I haven't decluttered it. And until it's like dead, I'm going to keep it around. And then these two came from the Zodiac collection. These are the only two I kept. I decluttered the others, but I kept Capricorn because I am a Capricorn, and I kept Sagittarius because my husband's a Sagittarius. So I will swatch them. I don't think, yeah, Capricorn is not the best shade. It's just a black with sparkle. And then Sagittarius is purple, so it's at least a little bit better, but not very pigmented. Maybe it's just old. I keep it mostly for the packaging, so I'm not upset if these like don't stay fresh. Now the moment everyone's been waiting for, Super Shock time. So how do I want to do this? Let's just get started. This is the Colourpop Super Shock in Ritz, probably one of my most used. And here's what it looks like. Really, really pretty shade. Happy to have it. I know it's one of the more popular ones. I have Birthday Girl, and mine stay pretty creamy. Mine don't dry out that quickly. Definitely more of a metallic than Ritz. Ritz has a lot more sparkle to it. This one is Ladybird. Of course, this is in my top 3. I love this one. This one is ultra sparkly metallic. This just has all the good things that you want in a single shadow. Next up, I have Prickly Pear. I really enjoyed this one as well. I mean, I close them pretty tight, as you can see, so maybe that's why mine don't get too dried out. I've decluttered a lot of these, actually. I know it looks like I have a ton, but I did declutter a lot. There's Prickly Pear, probably one of my more favorite purples. Like, I just like this kind of tone. Next up, we have How Far I'll Go. This one I think was unopened, but I had to repress it. It cracked in transit when my mom brought it, so because it was opened, I kept it unopened, but I can tell that it was repressed. Then we have Forced Behavior. And you'll have to let me know, like, down below in the comments, like, do you hit pan on these easily? Because I do not. I don't hit pan easily on anything. This is Forced Behavior. So I know a lot of people say these take forever to finish up, but I can't even hit pan on them. This one's Bouncy. And it's definitely one of the darker ones that I have, but still very pretty. Next is I Heart This, which is kind of like a cool tone, taupey purple with some just silver in it, like a very silvery purple. And the last one here before we do the purples is in Low Rise. Oh, this one too I repressed, I can tell. So this one also broke in transit. And there's what Low Rise looks like. Then these last 3 came from the Lavish collection. I decluttered the palette because I really did not like that palette. I reviewed the whole collection, I think. So this is the shade Angelic. This is the lighter purple. I can't tell a difference in just the smoothness of the formula on this versus the others. So maybe those are starting to get dried up, but I'll just put some Duraline in there or something. This is Social Baby, the darker purple. And I mean, these are all my Super Shocks, so definitely after Bouncy, one of the darker ones that I have opened. And the very, very last one is So Surreal, which this is more of the blue tone. It kind of has a duochrome effect to it. I said this before and I'll say it again, like the Lavish collection to me was a little bit more periwinkle than lavender, which is why I was disappointed in it. But these are all of the Super Shocks that I have swatched out. But now that we've swatched everything, I'm gonna do a little speeding up and rearrange this drawer. All right, here's the first drawer done of all the open ones. I like that I can pretty much see everything that I have. I might just switch these because, well, I want to keep the Charlotte Tilbury there. I might move this like this since that doesn't work. I was going to say I was going to move it because the Victoria Beckham is smaller than the Auric, but that doesn't work out. So now that I've done this drawer, I'm going to show you how I organize the unopened drawer. All right, here is the unopened drawer. So yeah, definitely more unopened than opened. It will be on my list to remedy that in these next upcoming months and just test these out, see which ones I like, which ones I can declutter, because this is definitely just too much even for me. But I hope you enjoyed going through my collection a little bit. Let me know down below if any of these unopened ones you want me to prioritize, if you want me to do videos on them. I'm happy to do that. It always is helpful if I know what you all want to see because I want to try all of this. So I'm happy to go over and talk about any of this in this drawer. But this is where I'm going to leave you all. This video is already long enough. I hope you're having a great one and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.